Okay, everybody, I went to Half Price Books today and I got an amazing haul. Stuff that I saw yesterday that I couldn't believe I actually saw at the store. They had Brazilian albums, and I'm not talking about like Sergio Mendes or Stan Getz. I'm not talking about Verve or A&M, Los Angeles produced Brazilian pastiche records. I'm talking about real, authentic, pressed in Brazil records from the late 70s and early 80s, a great period for música popular brasileira, the popular music MPB of Brazil. This is prime stuff, and it was $5 or less, which really made me happy. So let's look at some of these. I only got 3. I had to limit my spending a little bit, but let's look what I got. What I got were real gems. Got this album by Maria Creuza called Meia-Noite from 1977. It's a beautiful record of ballads. It's very much in that 70s production style. This is a really lush sounding record. She has kind of a very fragile, torchy voice. It's really beautiful, perfectly suited for these slickly produced ballads. It's a really nice record, and I did not have this on CD. I have several of her albums on CD, or at least CDR, but this was not one of them. This was 77. This is kind of prime time for her. The 70s and 80s, up until maybe about 84, were like a great period, was a great period for Brazilian popular music. I would say from around 67 up to 84, those are the records you really want to find, and this is well in there. This is lovely. The pressing looks pretty good. I didn't see any obvious flaws on the surfaces. The cover's a little beat up and the edges are a little torn, but that's fine. This next one is Elba Ramalho. That's an R, it's pronounced kind of like an H in Brazilian Portuguese. Ramalho. The album's called Do Jeito que Gente Gosta. Trying my best, folks. Do Jeito que Gente Gosta. Okay, I don't know what that means, but I actually listened to a Brazilian pronunciation before I attempted that. So I'm trying to be as accurate as possible. I have several Elba Ramalhos. This is relatively early in her career. This one came out in 84. I think she kind of started around 1980, 81. I could be wrong. It was in that era. She is what's called the queen of forró music. Forró music was kind of a village, popular, dance hall, fast-moving, good timing, kind of folk music. It was popularized by a guy named Luis Gonzaga. He played a song called Danado de Bom, which is his anthem. It's a accordion-driven, fun-time song. He had this great booming voice. She's kind of like the new generation of that kind of music. Much more poppy, but still has that accordion driven kind of sound to it. Again, I had not had this one before. I have some of her stuff on CD. She's not my favorite artist, but she's still going strong in her 70s. She's still performing, and so this is kind of nice. It has a great cover. Here she is on the back, looking great. She looks a little Taylor Swifty, doesn't she? So, rather listen to that than Taylor, though, although I'm not being a hater. Maria Bethania, Mel, 1979. This is one of the great Brazilian records. This is one of the giants. She's one of the giants of Brazilian music. She's the sister of Caetano Veloso, who many of you may know. If you know any Brazilian music at all, he's one of the big ones. And she's his sister, and her career more or less parallels his. She got started in the 60s like he did. They were all kind of in that Tropicalia, although she's kind of not in that movement. She's more her own thing. She's more of a ballad singer. This one came out in 79, so it's got that 70s production. You got kind of like an electric piano and Fender Rhodes in there in the back. And you've got almost a kind of a country sound in here. Kind of more of a Brazilian country, if you will. But don't let that put you off. These are beautiful, soulful ballads with that deep, husky voice that she has. And the title track's lovely. Everything on here is lovely. This is a great album. It's my favorite Maria Bethania album. So it's kind of cool that I actually have it on record. This was $5. Those other two I just showed you were $3.99. For Brazilian, authentic Brazilian records. This is printed by Polygram Philips in Brazil. It's amazing. So the problem is, can I play those records? No, my turntable is hidden away off to the side somewhere in a box, and it doesn't really fit my system, and my system's digital, so there's no analog input for the turntable. That's something I'm going to have to overcome if I'm ever going to play records again. But I do have these records, and I do have the cover art, and I've been looking for years for Brazilian records, so authentic ones like these, and they just don't show up. Like, when I saw these, I was kind of aghast. My jaw dropped, as they say, when I saw these. And the prices, too, made me very pleased. I thought, well, I can afford these, if nothing else, than for collectibles. Now, some of those are going for a lot of money. I could conceivably turn around and sell them. The cover art is a little bit damaged on them. Some of the seams are splitting on those. But the records themselves look great. And that mill, as you can see here, but it has a nice, beautiful gold sleeve. This record pressing, the surface looks immaculate. I mean, I'm kind of, there's the back. So I'm thinking of doing a video on Brazilian music, because I have a large collection of Brazilian music, very large. And I always say, I like to say it's my favorite music in the world until I think of classical and jazz, which is also my favorite. So favorite is relative, but Brazilian music is so rich and varied and diverse and so clever, inventive, and beautiful that I think it deserves some more treatment than a lot of people give it. And I definitely have some favorite albums that I'd like to show you. So until the next time, there you go. Some Brazilian records found at the bargain bin at half price. Now, fortunately, all these artists are still with us. Maria's still around. I don't know if she's performing anymore. She was as of a few years ago. Elba definitely is still performing. And Maria Creuza, I'm not sure about her. Maria is still with us. I just checked. She's still apparently performing. There's some pictures of her on Google performing recently. I don't know if she is right now, but does this fold out? Let's see. Oh my God, yes, look at that. She's in an apartment, beautiful 70s apartment. There she is on the couch, looking gorgeous, and the back has this clock timepiece. The seams are splitting, as you can see right there. But you know what? These are pretty rare to come across, so I'm very happy to have these. Here's a CD of Maria Bethania's Mel.